What is going on, everyone? It's Ultimate Spy 53 here, and welcome to another episode of Reviewed number 141. And today, I'm going to be reviewing Spy Kids 2, The Island of Lost Dreams, the sequel to Spy Kids, and the second installment in the Spy Kids quadrilogy. So what did I think of Spy Kids 2, The Island of Lost Dreams? Well, actually, in the film, it's called Island of Lost Dreams, but whatever, same idea. I'm gonna call it The Island of Lost Dreams because that's what it's called on the DVD. It's only called that in the film. So, I loved it. I thought it was really good. I thought it was better than the first one, but there were still a lot of issues with it, definitely. I mean, it was on a smaller budget, which is good. I like that. The fact that like the director decided to save money by doing a lot of more practical stuff, but at the same time, there were issues. I did notice some things where I just did not like them. But first off, the opening scene, the theme park. I gotta say, a lot of the rides that were featured in the movie, they could never be safe. You have like the thing will go whoosh, like that. I can't remember all the rides names, but that one, there's Vomit, and then there's the Juggler. Juggler is like, what the hell? I I honestly think that it's one of those theme parks that it can never actually happen. I don't actually think it was part of the movie. I think they did some kind of editing trick or green screen and all that stuff. I don't think that actually was a theme park. I mean, I think they filmed the theme park, but they actually like green screened in like different ones. I mean, I don't know, but I think that's what happened. So I just think that from a standpoint of someone who's been to a couple of theme parks in the past, I know that that's a terrible idea. Like, no, the troublemaker theme park, or whatever you want to call it, it could never be featured in the real world. But I mean, the idea is that it's not in the real world; it's a fictional world. But even then, it's like I don't believe this could ever be a ride in real life. It was cool to see a theme park in the movie, but even then, it's like whoa. But I don't know. I thought the Juggalo would have been insanely unsafe because it's struggling you and all that stuff, and but it was a cool part of the movie. I will tell you that it was definitely a really cool night. But I just don't think it was. I don't think it was a very safe ride. I mean, seriously, how could it? But that was just the beginning of the movie. The rest of the movie, like for example, it's about them going to this island, and I like the fact that Carmen in this movie, she's just so amazing because she's a hacker, and also she's really smart. But she's like the brains of the duo, basically, of Carmen and Uni. It's just I love it. I love it so much. It's fantastic, and I think she's just genius. And it just feel like she just from the first one to the second one, she's still the same kind of person, but obviously she's gotten older. She kind of knows what she's doing, obviously because she's has a bit more experience than Junie because she's older, but I just feel like she just knows everything. She's a hacker, obviously, because she's just amazing at what she does. And I was really impressed by, like, wow, it's really cool. And the fact that she can do basically any kind of technical thing. It's really, I love the fact that she's like that. I also love Ralph. And Ralph is this robot bug that Junie has, and I just love him. He's so funny. He's so awesome. In the movie, he's R.A.L.P.H. I don't know what those stand for, but Ralph is this little robot bug, and he's basically like Spider-Man essentially. He has this grappling tool. He's basically a really cool little nifty robot that Journey has, and he can basically do anything that Journey wants him to. A spy and Gary and Gertie, all that stuff, and I liked him. I thought he was a really cool addition to the movie, but it was unfortunate that he didn't last very long because unfortunately Gary just missed him. But and one thing about the movie that I kind of felt like was an ongoing thing throughout the movie was with Gary and Gertie, that basically the rival kids. But throughout the movie we see them always find ways to like show how bad they are at everything. In terms of cool gadgets and everything. It's just like it's an ongoing theme throughout the movie, which I noticed in it. It's like it just proves to them that they're basically just these bullies. They just want to show off everything and make them look cooler. And I feel like that by the end of the movie, things go better because Carmen is deciding to trust Gary, which is really good. So I feel like there was a redemption for them. They were not always bullies. Eventually, they do decide they wanted to go for the good side. So, and one thing about the movie that I obviously could tell was that Gary had a crush on Carmen. It's so obvious. I mean, you have Judy having a crush on Alexandra. I get that part, but what made me go, "Ooh, what's going on here?" is that Gary just kind of, I don't know, he kind of wanted to be nicer to Carmen because he had an obvious crush on Carmen. It was so obvious. And I mean, she kind of did a little bit. I couldn't. It's not really an obvious one, but it's there. I kind of felt that I was like, maybe Gary can be a good guy in the end. Maybe that could be a thing that happens in the end, but who knows? And at this point in the movie, it's right as Carmen and Junior are going on to the assignment that they're on, and Felix, who's basically the fake uncle of Carmen and Junior, he basically just is assigned to their parents. And he gives Gary and Gertie their assignment, which is very different than the assignment, which I can't remember the name of, but it's an assignment that requires them to go to the island and figure out what's happening, that kind of thing. And I was kind of surprised that they didn't realize they're going on the wrong mission. And I was like, because they knew what assignment they were going on, but Felix gave them the other one. So I was like, what's going on there? So I was like intrigued by that. It's like, oh well, they didn't really comment on that. They were like, wait, we're on the wrong assignment, and I was just surprised by that. Like maybe that was the director's decision to have that in there, but it was odd, you know. And before we go into the bad stuff about the movie, there were quite a bit of good things about the movie that I really enjoyed. I love the miniatures of the creatures from Romero because he's like a genetic specialist basically, and he creates these creatures essentially, and I like the miniatures that he makes of them, like the Romero Zoo. That was really cool. I like those, and also the new species one, the like combining different creatures. I like that. That was really cool. But I just thought overall it was really cute. You know, little mini versions of the creatures, and it was also kind of to do with miniatures. And this is kind of like how Lord of the Rings did it with the workshop, but it was a different story because it's not quite the same. But again, Lord of the Rings happened at the exact same time this movie came out, and this entire trilogy. Yeah. Both this trilogy and the Lord of the Rings trilogy happened at the exact same time. Like I feel like they borrowed a lot from Lord of the Rings in terms of not copying, but like taking inspiration. Like, oh, they did that too, we can do the same thing, kind of thing. So yeah, basically stealing, but not really. Kind of like you're using the same technology basically. And there was this room that Carmen and Junie got to that it was like a giant cavern essentially. It's like they couldn't build an entire set, but they did not. They basically built a miniature, and during that scene, Carmen and Junie can't talk to each other. They can only communicate by thought, which I thought it was a really interesting part of the movie. That was just like, that's really cool to be able to communicate by thought. I mean, I want to do that. If I was them, I would probably do that. But I just thought it was a very neat little thing that they did for that. I just thought that was a really cool addition to the movie. And here's the bad stuff of the movie. I will get to the other good stuff later on, but the bad stuff. God, there were quite a few bad things in the movie that I just thought were like inconsistent and just not good in terms of the quality. There was a scene where Carmen and Junie fall into this underground cave, essentially, and they have the map of the island with them, and it supposedly gets soaked. But when Carmen pops up for air, the map only has a few splashes of water, and it's barely wet. It's like I just felt like that was just like it was weird and inconsistent and didn't make any sense. Like it was underwater. It totally should have been soaked and basically unusable, but weirdly enough, it wasn't. So I just thought that was a really strange thing that happened in that scene. It's like, really, the map didn't get soaked like it should have gotten soaked. Weird. But again, there were a lot of weird things about the movie that I noticed that were just not good in terms of inconsistency and just like the quality of the movie. And that is to do with the CGI. I did not like the CGI in this movie. It was not very good. It wasn't impressive at all. And it was slightly better than the CGI in like Jurassic Park for the dinosaurs, but it was still not great. Like it looked like it looked like PS2 graphics, and it was basically like a low-res video game essentially. It was so bad. I mean, not horribly bad, just like better than 1990s CGI, but not great. Just not good. It wasn't. The quality just wasn't on par. I mean, this is early 2000s, so CGI. Yeah, it's gotten a little better, but not quite. Only been better by a decade. I just wasn't impressed. CGI nowadays is incredible, but like the CGI they used for the bigger versions of the creatures, good God, it was just like, ugh, it was sickening. It was just like you could tell it was fake. It's that bad. that's just some of the bad stuff that I found in the movie. I definitely felt like for the first movie, the CGI was better than the CGI in this movie. I don't know why. I mean, they use more practical sets for that movie, but for this movie, the CGI just wasn't on par, and that's why the movie wasn't as impressive in terms of the special effects. The first one had really good effects, but the second one just went downhill, like Floop's show. The visual effects for that part of the movie just weren't as good. It was just downgraded from the first movie. It was just so weird and not good. So that's just some of the bad side of the movie. The rest of the movie was good. The rest of the movie was enjoyable. I really enjoyed it. For example, I love the new gadgets. They were so cool. I also love the new subs that were featured in the movie, like the Dragonfly 5 and the Mothership, which is the giant sub that Gorio and Ingrid take to rescue Carmen Junie. And you go from the first one where they had the NIX Super Guppy, which Carmen Junie used in the first movie to get to the safe house. And this movie, they have two new ones, one for the parents and one for the kids. And I feel like it was a whole lot better than the first movie. Of course, the subs, but just in general, I thought they were cooler. You know, I just thought they were more impressive, and I like that feature of the movie. They had new stuff, which is cool. And like I mentioned before, with the budget and stuff like that, I was looking at the behind the scenes for this movie, and Robert Rodriguez, the director of the movie, he also edited and produced it and wrote it. To all the movies too. He directed all of the movies, and he wanted, again, like I said before, he wanted to make the budget lower by some money, so he built only a few sets and then just added in the rest later. So like the Mothership set, that was all one set, and then he just duplicated it, had the actress who plays Ingrid on one side, and then filmed the same scene swapped. And I felt like it was just more impressive. You really couldn't tell that there was more than just that set. For example, the director of the Always Innocent's office, the new one, that's all green screen. The only practical thing there is actually the desk. It was just surprising, like all that jumping around that the director had to do. That was not real. I mean, it looks like a video game, but like it's still. I mean, it's okay, but when you see green screen now, it's not used as much. There aren't whole sets just green screened out. I mean, yeah, it's still used a lot, but not whole sets. Like I get what the director wanted to do, like he wanted to save money, but I think he would have done a whole lot better if he didn't do that. But again, in a more expensive movie that way. But it was just really cool to see that all the extra scenery that was in the movie that you wouldn't have been able to know unless you watch the behind the scenes for that particular part of the movie, like how he did it. I thought that was really interesting that all those he basically cut down on the sets by using only a few. And I guess that's the way I save money, but it's less impressive when you see it in the behind the scenes, whereas you look at the movie, you can't tell. And that's just the movie magic. I think it's just like the power of movie making is that you can't really tell. Also, the power of editing too, power of post-production too. And last but not least, to wrap this review up, I wanted to finish up by talking about the end song, which is the Isle of Dreams, or something like that song that Alexa Vega performs for the end of the movie, basically the end credits, post-credit scene. And it was really cool because the idea is that Machete, their real uncle, gives them these new gadgets. Carmen sings because she's convinced she can't sing, and then one for her able to dance, and then also a specialized guitar that basically makes Junie sound like a rock star, essentially. And it was really humorous because the whole time, the controller that he was using to make it happen didn't actually have battery in it, and I was like, what? I know it was just crazy, but like I thought that was really cool because also it turns out that Carmen actually can sing, but also in real life, Alexa Vega can sing too. I just love the ending song. It was awesome, and even though I'm not really a big fan of the Spanish language, just because it's just like not my kind of, it's not my favorite language, but hearing the song in Spanish just sounded cool. I just liked it. I really genuinely liked the ending song, and that was probably the best use of music in the entire movie was that. I mean, they also brought back one of the main Spy Kids theme songs from the first movie. You'll know what I'm talking about if you see the movie, but like it's awesome. And I just thought that whole scene was amazing. That both Carmen dancing and singing, and then Junie playing the guitar. That was just awesome. I loved it. That was so cool. And in general, I really enjoyed this movie, but I was not impressed by the CGI. The CGI was just awful. It was not good CGI. I mean, it was better than CGI in Jurassic Park, but still not good. Still really, really bad. But I still enjoyed the movie. It was really good. I was really impressed by it. I enjoyed it more than the first one by far. This movie was still better because I love the costumes, I love the gadgets, I love everything about the movie with that in mind. Just not the CGI. But yeah, anyway, that's all I'm gonna say for this review. It was a good movie. I still would recommend it. There's still quite a bit of issues with it, but that's just my opinion. Because I'm gonna leave this movie with I gave the last movie 7 out of 10. So I'm gonna give this movie, because of the CGI, I'm gonna give it 5 out of 10. And that's because of the CGI, exactly, because I could have used, like, animatronics. It would have totally been a better job if the animatronics were involved, because, heck, they use animatronics for, Lord of the Rings, so I'm kind of surprised they didn't do that for this movie. I mean, budget, but, like, seriously? But yeah, that's all I'm gonna say, 5 out of 10, and it was a really fun movie. So yeah, anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Reviewed. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit the like button. I really do appreciate your support. And if you're new to this channel, subscribe for more episodes of this series and other series that I do, as well as other great content. And I'll be back next time with another episode. Alright? See ya.